Alright, here's my latest, greatest creation, and I hope it works as well as I want it to, but I'm going to show you what I already don't like. Anyway, this is an electric smoker that I got from my company as a 5-year of service award, and I was really excited to get it just because I've always wanted to have a decent smoker, and I thought, you know, with having a small backyard, small deck, blah blah blah, and having lots of kids running around, it'd probably be better off to have an electric smoker than to try to be out maintaining you know, a charcoal or a gas-fired smoker. So I picked the thing up. I mean, other options were like a watch or a tie or something like that. I was really excited. Well, it turns out, no offense, but it's not that great of a smoker. I mean, I could go into a review on the smoker, but I'm not going to waste my time. But, I mean, hell, look at the thermometer. The thermometer reads in warm, ideal, or hot. I mean, come on. You're giving this thing to engineers. Don't give me a temperature gauge that says warm, ideal, and hot. Anyway, had a little thought on using it for melting honey, or melting wax, I'm sorry, and that's what I'm doing here. So, I was going to use the oven in the house, but I figured my wife wouldn't like that. So I tested out the old smoker, and it's working very well. So what I've done in here right now, the bottom pan of the smoker, where normally you would put your water and wood chips, I just put water, and then I laid a paper towel across it, and then I put my little mesh cage in there, my mesh bowl. I've showed you guys how I use that when I filter out, when I do a quick filter on getting the solids out of wax when I melt it down. Put that in there just to hold the chunk of wax and let her go. And so far it looks like it's working actually really, really well. I can tell the wax is obviously melting because the paper towel is saturated, and I can hear it dripping underneath into the bowl. Actually, hear it almost running at this point, so that's really good. And you can see the slum is kind of starting to ooze down the sides there. So I could actually go ahead and wipe out the slum right now if I wanted, but, you know, why bother? I'm just going to let it keep doing its thing. Now what I need to do, I realized this from the get-go, I don't even know, I just didn't do it. I should have done it, I just didn't do it. I need to lay the paper towel inside the mesh bowl, because the paper towel is completely soaked now, and the corners, you know, all the way out to the corners are soaked. And if it gets super saturated, it could actually start to kind of work like a whip and start pulling wax out and then dripping over the edge of the bowl. I definitely don't want that to happen. So anyway, I can't do it now because everything is already melted and wet and ooey and gooey. So I'm going to let this batch finish out. I really don't know how much longer it's going to take, but we'll just have to see. But what I should be left with is a little black pile of sludge on top of my paper towel and some really nice, clean, pure wax floating in the water below. I like this because the smoker doesn't get real hot. It's only supposed to get up to like 160, maybe 200 degrees, which is good because you don't want to overheat your wax. And this also, it's a good passive method. So unlike the pot of boiling water, which I advise you guys really be careful doing that because you can boil over, get out of control. This is just a slow, calm, low heat, very easy to control. It's just plugged in, unplugged, whatever. So no open flames. If I walk away and forget about this thing and leave it for 6-8 hours, I'm probably going to come back and just find a bowl of melted wax. So not near as scary as doing a boiling pot of water, but I'll try this maybe on the next batch. I'll try doing a direct render, so trying with just straight combs, not the pre-rendered wax, just going straight from combs straight to pure liquid wax. That would be the ideal one-step process. So I'll try that on the next round. Okay, so here we are about not quite 24 hours later, and actually I shut everything down last night, checked it. The wax was solidified last night, but I'm going to show you guys how it was all set up and how it looks, what the end result is. So everything's cooled off now. I'm going to take our lid off, pull out our pan, and you can see all that's left is some black charred garbage. This paper towel is saturated with wax, and now it's actually kind of stiff, kind of brittle. And that makes an excellent, excellent fire starter if you're trying to, start a fire in your stove just for heat, or trying to start a campfire or something. This wax-saturated paper makes a really great fire starter. So you don't necessarily have to throw that away. And we'll take out our screen down here. And again, that was just in there to hold the tray on top of. And here's our bottom pan. Whoa! So you can see we got a little bit of water left in there, which is good because I wanted to have some water to make it not stick too tight. And you can see how the wax looks. So good color to it, real light tan. Not pure white like some people would like on a fancier beeswax, but certainly good enough for me. So now I've got this. You can see I've got one little spot over there right in the center of the screen now. And that's why I remembered, I said earlier in the video, why I was like, man, I don't know why I laid these paper towels below the basket like I did. Well, I know why I did, because that basket was really dirty, and it's melted itself clean now, so that little chunk, I guess, fell out of it. But for future use, I'll put the paper towels always inside the basket, not underneath the basket, and that should help keep things a little bit more tidy as well. So anyway, real good looking wax, real good smell to it. Doesn't have any sort of smell like, you know, dead bees or beetle larvae or any nonsense like that, like it does when I very first render it down. So real nice smell to it. Now I'll be able to take this and melt it down in a double boiler fashion and pour it into little molds of some sort. I want to cast it into a 1 ounce mold, because I've looked online. A lot of the recipes for making lotions and lip balms and stuff all call for, you know, 1 ounce or 2 ounces of beeswax. So I want to do a bunch of casts in 1 ounces. That way I'm ready to go whenever we're going to make up something like that. It's already, you know, measured out for me. So anyway, really happy with how this worked out, actually, and look forward to trying the next test, which will be melting down basically, you know, original combs that have just been cleaned out by the bees, and just melting them straight down. So completely skipping the whole process and melting it down in a water bath first. Hopefully that'll help really speed things up and save me a lot of time.